Alrighty, everybody. Let's hop into another game. Let's see where things stand right now. It's a 10 plus 5, so this is a rapid game when I normally play. We're going against Rob Cam 1. At our level, it's like 1500, 14, 1500. I'm seeing a ton of Roy Lopez and Italian games. Um, so I want to encourage everyone out there to don't let the fact that those are old openings turn you off, because 100% these are valid openings that you want to have in your repertoire. We see a ton of them. Roy Lopez, Italian game, don't sleep on them, folks. They are hugely played. In fact, we've gone now into almost a pure Gioco Pianissimo with this game. This move, this move. We're probably, or actually, no. This to this. Yeah. If we had started here, notice I don't have my knight up attacking, so by starting here, that'd be the super quiet game, but I think this is the normal Gioco piano. I'm expecting a pawn push here. Yeah, all right, that's fine. So we've got everything defended up nicely. Eventually, I'm going to stick my bishop probably back to here. Go ahead and just... I don't need to do this, but I'm going to. Just in case my opponent gets an idea to try to stick some pressure down here. I'm just going to just prevent it. This h6 move is a very slow move. It may even be unnecessary. I never know if it's the appropriate time to stick those h6 or a6 moves. I never know if it's time to do that or not. I never know if they're a good move or not. In this case, because we are looking at an Italian game where we're trying to make positional moves, I'm going to try to play really defensive. And by that, I don't mean I have like this crazy strategy. I'm trying to work on getting better at observing what my opponent's doing and figuring out what their next round of moves are. Now, one of the things that I do know is playing the Italian game, this knight does have a bit of a walk. So I'm assuming his rook is going to come over here. My king is still in the center of the board. This is a perfect time to castle. I'm assuming we're going to see the rook come over. I'm assuming see the knight move around, and then we'll see the bishop develop somewhere. Oh, okay. All right. Like I said, my bishop was going to be coming back here anyway. I'm just looking to see if there's any kind of trap that I'm falling into. I don't see anything. Yeah, I'm totally okay here because the knight would have to move first. And no, actually, knight doesn't have to move. Let's just go ahead and give ourselves an escape square. I mean, even if I put it back here, it's defended, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, let's go ahead and give ourselves an escape square. So I'm just debating on a6 or a5. A5 means I could put my pawns in this kind of configuration, which eventually, let me see if this will be a different color yet, which eventually let me stick my bishop if I wanted to and try to trade off light square bishops. I don't know if that is a good idea or not, but let's start with that in mind. Notice if my opponent were to try to capture here, I do have it covered. I've got it covered twice, so I'm not too worried about that. I'll stick my bishop here, and then I'll stick the other bishop here, and we'll see what happens. All right, so what does this tell us? This tells us that my opponent is looking for f5 pretty strongly. Would I trade off? Probably not. Problem with that is a possibility. Well, it's not a possibility right now, but eventually the queen could get here with the knight sitting there. Could be an ugly knight that I don't want to deal with. So I'm debating on, this is an option, but I think my opponent could just shut the door. So I'm debating on putting my bishop here to start off. And then if my opponent continues on this path, trade light square bishops. No. Maybe stick my queen. So maybe if I stick the bishop here, then the queen here. That's too much work. Let's just stick with the plan. Let's just stick with the plan. I think we're overthinking this. I'm assuming the knight is going to come around here. No. I was looking to see if maybe I could force my opponent's bishop offline. That would do anything, right? Get the bishop onto this diagonal instead of this diagonal. But I don't think that does anything. So we'll keep their plan. My opponent does have an option for a sacrifice here that I want to keep an eye on. So sacrifice, and then the queen can come into the game. Nope, queen can't come into the game as long as my knight's here. I'm okay. Okay. So for my opponent, this knight is not great, but still in the game. This guy here. All right, so I'm looking to see if there's any kind of discovery I can make. Notice that this is undefended. Is there any kind of discovery I could make that would be really interesting? And I'm wondering if I should have done that last turn. There really isn't. The queen is not in any kind of position where I can do any threatening. Yeah, like I said, I do have to watch out for this. Not really, not yet. I think I'm okay still. All right. So now this is a threat. Because the king is pinned, right? If I were to go here, no, I'm okay still. What if I were to do this? No, because that still invites the knight here, which I could trade off. Let's just go ahead and move the king out of the way right now. All right, so let's, what else is there in this position? My opponent is doing a very good job of really bringing all of his pieces to bear on my king side. My pieces are not. Look, my bishop is blocked. My bishop is really not doing anything. Now he's got two attackers here. He could sacrifice, pick up 2 pawns in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and trade this off. That was one of the things we said we were going to do. Trade this guy off. I'm just trying to figure out where this particular queen can go, because I'd really like to get the queen on this diagonal. I think this is just the way to go. Need to get my knight rotated around into the game. So my pieces, if you notice here, my pieces are, this one's stuck on defensive duty. You know, keeping the queen at bay. This knight is not in the game. Can't go there, can't go there. I'm blocked, blocked. All I can do is go backwards with the knight. Bishop is blocked in. Can't really open up the bishop until I get the queen out of the way. Or, I mean, until I get the knight out of the way. Whereas my opponent's got clear lines everywhere. So my opponent has really, other than this knight, all of my opponent's pieces that are developed are in good shape. So my opponent is definitely ahead in this game, I feel like. I am playing very reactive, and I have no plan. Ah, clever. This is not defended except by the queen. And now I can't move the knight. Yeah, well played. Very, very good find. Very good find. Would love to stick my rook under here, but I don't think it does any good because of this. No matter what I do, if I stick the rook here and I start pushing this pawn up, eventually this guy becomes undefended, right? I mean, as soon as I push it, it becomes undefended. And then the bishop is now in the game. And oof, I think the goal, I think I just need to... Bishop is way out of the game. It's stuck. No, no, because I want the option to bring the rook over. Let's get the rook here for now. Maybe we can get something going along this semi-open e-file. That's all I can think of, but this is a very positional game, and I am out of position. So I bet if we turned on the analytics, I am, even though the material is even, off by a pawn somewhere, I'm actually up a pawn. No, material is even. I would imagine that I'm behind in the count, maybe by 2 points or so. I'm trying to maneuver my queen so I can still keep defense on the drop. No, I didn't. So I can still keep defense here, but at the same time, unpin so that I want to unpin, but keep it defended so that way I can rotate it around. Oh, but the rook is now. All right, maybe we can do a rook lift here and get the rook involved somehow like this. Now, the one good news about this, my opponent's knight has blocked off his bishop. I bet we see the knight come into the game still. Could get a queen infiltration on this backwards pawn. So maybe I stick my queen here, offer the queen trade. Still a lot of time left on this game, y'all. Still a lot of time left on this game. Okay. Pushing down. Why don't I just take? What's wrong with me just taking? This pawn could become a nightmare if I'm not careful. But I think we're gonna I think I can stabilize here. Still defending, but I have unpinned. Now I have to move this rook out of the way. But this guy's, let's see if we can get a queen trade here. If we can get a queen trade, then my knight can get actually into the game. And you know what? I have this square defended twice. If this knight moves, right, let's say we have a trade here, I can get a rook lift in for free. Getting the rook lift in means I can finally get my knight freed. Positional games, y'all, not my strong suit. That's okay. I'm learning. We're getting there, right? We're getting there. My opponent still has lots of things they could do. I drop this at the end of the day. Dropping a pawn. Yeah, this did not go. Yeah, this just did not go where I wanted it to go. Nope, can't do that because I've still got a pawn hanging. Let's start here. And my opponent's going to do the thing where he just continues to drive me to ruin. Yep, positional game, and I just don't have a good position. Could get this in, but all my opponent has to do is push. There is a 5-second increment, so we're not completely out of time yet. Notice all of these squares taken away. I just don't think there's anything I can do here, y'all. There's too many pawns. Bishop pair from hell. And I'm out of time. It happens. My opponent played an amazing game here. I have no complaints. I can't. I have to. Oh, no. Yeah, this game's over. Because this, backed up by this, this is a really well played game. Yep. Very good game by my opponent. Like I said, it was just a positional game, and I was just out of position. So if we turn on the analytics, where did I say I was going to look at it? Somewhere around here. Somewhere around here before the queen trade. Yeah, you can look at it here, even from this point. Wow, that queen move really was killer, wasn't it? Yep. Yeah, undefended piece, and then I put myself directly into a pin, and you can see here how, look at that, the analytics is way higher than I expected it to be. So it just goes to show you that I was not exaggerating. This was a positional game, and I was way out of position. And then yeah, this was I completely missed this too. Hey, at least I figured out a plan. You know, we got a plan going. Give up the queen, it says. Would you look at that? With check, the only legal move. Pick up the queen again. Wow. Did not see that at all. Wow, what a huge swing here. Yeah, I should have traded, because then I have time to get my knight out of the way. At least I'm only down an exchange and not down. Oh well, alrighty. So yeah, that's exactly what, like I said, it was basically just a matter of getting myself into a bad position. Ugh. What did I say? One move before I should have. Ah, this is the one. This is one move later. Yeah, I had no discovery here. Had no discovery here. There's my discovery. Now the queen can. Yeah, the queen can move. Oh right, this pawn is pinned. But if the queen moves from defense of that, it's dead. Ugh, one turn later. One turn. I did not go back and look at it. I did not go back and look at it. Because also note that there is no threat here. Because I could still grab. I don't know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in that position. A lot going on. Ah. Oh well, I missed that. And then yeah, this just got, I just tangled myself up completely here and completely tied into knots. And then sure enough, I dropped a piece. I should have made the queen trade on my terms like I wanted it. Nope. Everything was just overloaded. And yeah, from here on out, it just became bad news bears. So very little to do. My opponent's up by 8.5. Very little to do here. Oh well. Alrighty, guys. This was a fun game. Go back and study your Italian games. Study your Gioco Pianos, your Gioco Pianissimos. Let's turn on the is the Open Explorer. Well, this is interesting. Oh, you can't see the note here. The Opening Explorer will be back in a few days. Due to a fire in the data center, power to the server has been cut. So there is no Opening Explorer because there was a fire. So best of luck to everyone over at Lichess and their data center, wherever that may be. Best of luck to anyone who experienced that fire. Hopefully it was nothing too serious. Hopefully everyone is okay and there was nobody harmed in the process. But we will. This is some form of. This is the Gioco piano, and some form of Gioco pianissimo. I'm not exactly certain what the move order is on those, but it's time to go back and study these. Time to go back and look and make sure that we don't end up in a position that we're not happy with. I don't know if this was a good move or a bad move. It became a liability later on because losing a pawn, but I think realistically, my major issue, honestly, was this bishop. And I just couldn't figure out how to get it back in. Yeah, this blocking my bishop in just became more of a headache than it was worth. And yeah, right here, look at this. Pawn structure's closed in. My bishop's stuck. So I think that was... I think if I play the Gioco piano again, or the next time I come across it, I am not going to lock my dark square bishop up. I need that dark square bishop to be more active. And it was just not active at all. And I really need to look at this knight. Because, yeah, I undefended the knight, so I need to be really careful on that. All right, so Gioco piano. Don't undefend your stuff with pawn pushes. And make sure your dark square bishop is not blocked in. So those are my lessons on these positional type games. Is keep an eye on those little things. Made a huge difference. Huge difference. And then yeah, when I had a chance to come back, missed it. Oh, well, no biggie. Just another game. So we'll try to grab another game here soon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.